I didn't think I'd wake up in any universe where we would be patching Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi, but here we are, and I'm happy for it. Now, a lot of people are really upset, and I'm really confused about the outrage and anger behind the patching of the game. I have played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in the tournament scene on the Wii through the Dolphin emulator. Now, if you don't know what the Dolphin emulator is at all, if you have no idea what that is, the Dolphin emulator was the only way you could play Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 online or with friends, unless you had Parsec and you could play and link up to another computer. That was the only way to do it. So outside of that, you were pretty much stuck with that. So Yajirobe just got patched. So Yajirobe now is patched, and people are confused and upset about the patch of Yajirobe. They're like, man, why is Yajirobe patched? What's going on? What happened? So he has 2.5 bars. He doesn't start off with 2. He has 2.5 bars now. And his Senzu being cost 6. That's it. Really, not much really different. He's still the same definitive beast of a character. Not anything changed with his movement, his skill set. If you like Yajirobe, you can still pick Yajirobe. He just has 2.5 bars. I don't really see that much of a difference besides the half bar and the increase in skill count. Not really that big of a difference. You just have to wait a little bit longer to get your move off. I don't really grasp why people are going crazy in sicko mode about it. So you go to 4 bars, and now it still costs 4 bars. Still, you can't do this in the game, by the way. It still costs fullback. Still the same speed. 1, 2. Yeah, still the same speed. Don't really understand what the big issue is. People still can play Yajirobe. He still does the same damage. I don't grasp where the issue came in. There's no sound right now. I don't grasp where the issue came in. I don't. So what I'm grasping is that people are upset because they think this means future patches for a bunch of other characters, which generally wouldn't be that bad. You can play with a mouse click. That's crazy. Which generally wouldn't be that bad. Didn't realize you could play with a mouse click. That's kind of nuts. Which generally wouldn't be that bad, right? I think that it would be healthy if the game had at least some performance patches, some patches to the game, because in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 there was some busted, messy nonsense that made the game generally became what you guys think it wasn't in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. In Budokai Tenkaichi 3 top tournament scene, it was Cell, sometimes Chaozu, Trunks, it was Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. It was a lot of characters that were just definitively the best. That's how it operated. That's how it ran. And I was there in the tournaments, losing like a coward and sometimes winning, having a great time. And there was barely any regulated rules. Sometimes they do DP sets as they have right now. Sometimes they do other rules like that. But it was really just kind of anyone's game because there was no set rule set because BT3 was never competitive. Now we're in modern day where we have the ability to actually get patches. And I'm not against patches. The game is going to be unbalanced without a doubt. There's going to be After Image Strike. There's going to be the existence of giants. There's going to be Android characters, which is built into their core concept of using false courage and grabbing. That's just how they are. It is not an issue that the characters are broken. It is also not an issue if a character is too much to give them a slight adjustment. All Yajirobe had was a very slight adjustment. I have seen like 300 posts about they're ruining Dragon Ball. This is messed up. There's no winning with people. I'm beginning to understand that there's always going to be complaints, and that's okay. It is okay to have your cake and want to eat it too, and you're upset that Yajirobe is getting messed up. I would love it if they just increased his cost to 3. That would have also been a thing that could have fixed it. That would have been nice. That would have changed up your team and maybe made you think about team building and maybe got people digging deeper about team building. That would have been great to me. I would have enjoyed that. There are many other ways this could have been done, but I still feel like this method that they did is still one of the best, most definitively good things that they could have done in order to balance the game in a fair and justifiable way. It is a small balance and people are going nuclear about it. And I think the reaction is a little bit asinine and a little bit insane. I think getting this upset over one character who and I'll say this. I obviously didn't get the game to play Dr. Wheelo. Obviously. I didn't get the game to play Roshi. I didn't get the game to play this character. I got the game to play Pure Evil Boo. I got the game to play Goku Blue, but Goku Blue kind of sucks, and I don't like playing him after me playing him for a while, and I don't like him despite the fact they're my favorite characters. I had to make some sacrifices because they sucked, and that's okay. That's okay that I don't like the characters. They suck to me. It's fine. However, to just be angry at the developers, to say the developers don't know what they're doing after they put so much love and passion into the game, feels a little bit ungrateful to what this game is. This game is a true love letter. And if they want to adjust a few things in a love letter, I say let them. Because Yajirobe was a little bit psychotic. I'll give you that. And now there people are saying, oh, well, they should just take out the giants in the game. Crazy statement. Crazy statement. Giants are a staple in Tenkaichi. I feel like when Great Ape got introduced in Budokai Tenkaichi, the initial game, that was a fun thing for the game. I thought that was fun. I feel like people are abnormally upset over one patch. They fixed the controller glitch. Happy about that. I'm super happy about that. But to be angry that you lost your main Yajirobe. Yajirobe's gone. He's no longer a viable character in the game. He's still viable. Everybody's viable. Frieza Soldier's viable. Chaozu is viable. Yamcha, who I don't like, is viable. He deserves After Image Strike. That means that if they can patch and change up things about the game like that and increase cost, that means they might be able to patch in After Image Strike to characters that might need it. We now know we have a voice in this. We're communicating with the developers. People complain enough. There was enough uproar. And they say, you know what? All right. Fine. And I know people are saying, increase the cost of Dr. Wheelo. Sure. There's still Vegeta Scouter, who can transform. There's still Lord Slug. Are you just upset with the Giants? If you're upset with the Giants, that's okay too, because the Giants are hard to beat. I have issues with the Giants. I've tried to make guides to understand the Giants, or at least try to break them down, and they still give me trouble. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say, oh man, this is fair. No, I don't think it's fair at all. I don't think Giants are fair at all. I really don't. But I'm not gonna complain and say they should be taken out the game. I say one day I'll get good enough to where even if you play a giant, I'll be able to defeat you. I say that I'm going to approach this with a Goku mentality, because this is what it means to be a Dragon Ball Z fan, right? You see an impossible challenge that is impossible to overcome. And through your own skill and effort, through what you are as a human being, you devour it. You cannibalize it almost. You put it inside of your soul and you say, well, this was hard, but I'm harder. Boom. No pause. No pause at all. No pause at all. I love the fact that we can actually communicate and talk with the devs and the developers. It makes me excited that they're actually listening to us and actually giving us feedback and actually caring about our opinions and words, because it shows that we actually have some movement within this. I love that. I really, really do. I love it more than anything. However, what I don't like is that people are, for some reason, threatening developers, which is strange. We've seen what happens when people get mad. They love to threaten people. It's their favorite thing, because they think the internet is not real. So like, you can just block me if you're scared of me, but I think that you should end your existence. Crazy statements all around. I think that's a little bit crazy. If this means that we're going to get patches like this, maybe they can increase the cost of After Image Strike for characters across the board. Maybe they can do something like that to make it a more balanced game. They could do stuff like that. But until they do that, by all means, use the mechanics. Learn the mechanics. They gave a very slight adjustment to Yajirobe. It wasn't even, I thought it was going to be, he's going to cost 4 DP. That's what I was like, okay, maybe he'll cost 4 DP. Maybe he'll lose his ability to even not fly. He'll just jump and have nothing. He'll be worse than Hercule. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do that. They gave him a slight debuff. A very slight debuff. I know that bars matter in the game and stuff like that. I know it matters so deeply. But I think it's genuinely fair. Him starting off with 2 was crazy. It was a little bit psychotic, despite the fact that he was a 2 DP character. But now it might open your eyes to another character that you can find that's disgustingly broken. I think we can use this opportunity for the game. I think that's great. I feel like that will be fun to do. I feel like we can take our time and go through all the characters, because I've been sifting through the characters and trying to figure out who the greatest are. I've discovered that, for some reason, and this is going to sound crazy, Lord Slug, pretty good character. He has a finger beam that does 2. and he turns to a giant. He might become an issue in the future. I think he's great. I think that Vegeta Scouter, cost 4, is great. We can get Vegeta Scouter, we can get Lord Slug, and then we could get Bardock. That's 3 4s. You get a 2 and a 1. That equals 15. Boom. You got a great team right there. Or you could just pick 3 giants. Dr. Wheelo. We could pick Lord Slug or Vegeta Scouter. And if they increase the price of Lord Slug, well, guess what? We can get Vegeta and we can get Lord Slug. So there will be new giants to be angry at. There are many ways to make this game disgustingly broken. You could spam super counter. You could spam Z counter and figure out some way to do that. You could figure out the jump tech in this game. You could spam grabs with false courage and the androids. There are so many other methods. Are they going to decrease the rate of attack for, or the rate of life steal and key steal for the androids? Who knows? I'm overexcited, and I feel like the outrage beyond what I'm seeing, I feel like the outrage for Yajirobe specifically is a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy. I have nothing more to add than the fact that I'm happy by the fact that he is getting nerfed. That's very fun. But I feel like the response is a little bit chaotic. So yeah.